Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up.
Hey, welcome back, friend. I am your host of the Spiral Up podcast, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, and it's so fun to have you here as we kick off a summer series of what the heck do I do with my routine now that the whole family is home from school, right? I don't know about you guys, but my kids are done. Summer is well underway, and here I am, like caught between two places. One being that I have these routines that I've established over the last year that have really helped me to be consistent, right? So it's like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do on Tuesdays. I know what I'm supposed to do on Wednesdays, and I know what I'm doing at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? So like I have these routines, and now all of a sudden I have a house full of people that are, disrupting that routine, right? I also have this other conflicting desire of not being left out. Massive FOMO. I got to tell you that this was a motivator for me when I was making the decision to leave my full-time career in anesthesia just about 2 years ago, because I felt like I was missing out. I was missing out on days at the pool. I was missing out on the bike rides during the middle of the week. And I really wanted to have an opportunity to be a part of my kids' lives while they were little. And so I felt really stuck. So here I am at this crossroads at the beginning of summer where I have two conflicting desires, right? And I call these double binds. I just want to make sure that we acknowledge this really quickly, because when we have two desires that are in conflict, oftentimes we get neither because we don't know which one they are at competition with each other. And so I had this competition to be organized and consistent with my routines and to not miss out. And I want to give you guys today my 5 best tips that are going to help you to juggle all of this so that you can maintain your massive forward momentum this summer, so that we don't get to the end of the summer and beginning of fall and we're like, what the heck happened to my business? Because many people don't acknowledge or don't realize the fact that my success today is a result of what I did 3, 4, maybe even 6 months ago. So if I am coasting through summer, like, hey, I got this, like, I don't have to be consistent. I don't have to do whatever I'm supposed to do. I can make this happen. And then you do because of the work that you did in the spring. And then all of a sudden you get to fall. You're like, what the hell happened? It's because of your lack of consistency during the summer. So what we need to do is come up with a clear plan to help you maintain some consistency, but also maintain some balance. I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't want you to miss out on everything. Like, life is more than just work, and we want to create our life by design. All right. So let's get started. First tip that I have for you today is to have your goals in mind. All right. You have to think about your future self and what your future self wants to accomplish in the next quarter, in the next month, in the next week, in the next day. And when you have a consistent and clear goal, you can know exactly what it is that you need to do and how to show up every single day. All right. And you can figure out what moving parts need to be done, what needs to be allowed to let go. So let me give you an example. Okay. So let's just say that you had this really big goal of having, 5 live launches this year. It's okay for you to decide, like, hey guys, I'm only going to do 1 live launch in the next 3 months because I want to spend most of my time with my family. So adjusting your year to be able to give yourself this space is just intentionality, and it's going to help you to create that balance that you want to. So be realistic with your goals as well. If you are trying to be way too ambitious, all you're going to do is going to shoot yourself down to the bottom of the vibrational emotional scale, because you're going to allow guilt and shame and shoulds to set in. And we don't want that. So when you have a clear intention for what you want to accomplish in this quarter, so June 1st is the beginning of second quarter, we have this opportunity then to look at what do we want to accomplish in the next 3 months. and what's realistic with the life that I want to have, and how can I compensate before and after to make this all happen. But you have to be very clear on what it is that you want to accomplish. Now, one of the things that I've done for years is I have a dry erase board with my goals. So I have a quarter basically mapped out so that I know exactly what I want to accomplish. And I actually have another one for the year so that I know how many live launches do I want to have. I know how many retreats I'm going to host. I want to know how many, I actually am looking at mine right now. Like I wanted to get the audiobook done this year. So that's done. And so I have an idea of what it is that I want to do for the year. And then I can figure out like, how do I want to piece that together in a quarter at a time? And when I do that, I can be realistic with it. And then I break that down into what do I really want to accomplish in the month of June? What do I really want to accomplish in the month of July? And be realistic about it. Enough of a stretch that it keeps you motivated, right? But totally realistic, because what happens to many of us, myself included, is that I get caught up in this all or nothing thinking. And so as soon as I start to slip away from the goals that I had set for myself, it's kind of like I almost give up. And then I kind of start from nothing again. So I want you to keep your goals realistic enough, but just a little bit of a stretch that keep you fun and motivated. And so if you can think about it, it's like, okay, well, I want to write 3 blog posts this month, or I want to sign up 3 new clients this month, or I want to have the first 2 chapters of my book written, whatever the case may be. Be really specific and have something that you can write it on that you can see as a visual reminder, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do today. Like, I don't know what my priorities are. You know what your priorities are because you wrote them down. All right. Another tip that I'm going to have when it comes to goal setting is have that dry erase board or vision board that you create or whatever it is in the place that the rest of your family can see it. All right. So if I have a goal to have, let's say, 10 new clients by the end of the month, I have this on this dry erase board in my kitchen. My kids, my husband know my goals. They see my goals. They see me crossing things off. They see the progress, and they can get on board with cheering me on or understanding why I need to step away, why I need to work. And it allows for us to kind of become a team. Now you all of a sudden have a team of cheerleaders because they get it. It's not this arbitrary moms in her office. It's I get to be involved in this goal, and it's really fun to watch mom. How could I help her? All right. It's really, really fun. And so one of the things that I find that when you can allow your kids to be a part of your goal setting, it teaches them hard work. It teaches them perseverance. It teaches them just dedication and resiliency, and it helps them to understand. Okay. Tip number 2 is use your family as a reward. Okay. Now there's a couple ways that I'm going to dive into this one. First off, I want you to acknowledge the fact that if you have kids, especially little kids, it's really hard for them to understand. Like, why does mom have to work? She's home. Why can't we just play all day? Right? And so when you can have a mutually beneficial goal, it allows for them to see what's in it for them. All right. So one of the things that we did as a family several years ago when the kids were smaller is we created a family vision board. And we got some magazines from my hairdresser, and we had a blast just cutting out different pictures. And the kids picked several different things that had to do with Disney World. And so that allowed us to have this family goal. Hey, mom, how close are we to getting to Disney? Hey, I say, hey, kids, I need to go work so that we can go to Disney, right? So it allows for you to have some kind of bond when it comes to the goals that you have set. I also use my family as my reward. So when I do the things that I said I was going to do all day, right? When I say, okay, I want to accomplish this, this, and this, and I want to give myself until 1 o'clock today to get it done, I can use that. All right, I better get going. I better not scroll on Facebook. I better not get caught up in all the things. I want to be crystal clear and focused on what it is that I'm doing so that I can use my family time as reward. Hey, we're going to go on the bike ride at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to go work, right? Use your family as a reward. It allows for you to get the FOMO as a motivator so that you can spend the afternoon in the pool with the kids, so that you can go on the bike ride, so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do that allows for you to have that balance. All right. All right. Tip number 3, establish some clear boundaries. All right. So boundaries can be really, really hard for many of us for many different reasons. And one of the things that I want to acknowledge is that you have to establish boundaries for yourself and you have to establish boundaries for the other people in your household. What do I mean by other people in the household? This is where it's like you establish some routines and some verbal or visual or auditory cues that you are working. Okay. So, for example, if I think that I can sit on my couch next to my kids and while they're watching cartoons, work on my business, I am giving my kids a very unclear idea of what it is that I'm doing and what my role is for the day. Okay. Now, my kids are old enough that like I just go in my office and I shut my door. When they were a little bit smaller, they knew that if I was sitting at my desk and my ring light was on, or I was talking in front of my microphone, like they knew not to bother me. And so having some clear expectations, clear boundaries just allows for them to have the freedom that they know that if I'm not in front of my ring light, they know that they can come and ask me something. They know that they can get some help. They know that, they can get my attention. But when I have certain parameters, maybe it's a do not disturb sign on your door. Maybe it's, honey, I'm going to be working for the next hour. So I'm going to really need you to allow me to just get really focused so that I can get as much done in the next hour. But have some boundaries that are clear for them so that they know exactly what's okay and what's not, and allows for both of you guys to be more satisfied. The other thing when I mentioned boundaries is having your schedule as a boundary. All right. Now, if you are using some of the tips that we've already talked about, like using family time as a reward for yourself, you are going to be more likely to be focused. And so what I want you to do is to remind yourself that there are things that need to be done. And I want you to schedule time on your calendar to get those things done. All right. So if that means that on Mondays, you want to do your content writing for the week. All right. So you put on your calendar from 9 to noon on Monday to knock out all of your content for the week. And you treat that calendar appointment as any other appointment, doctor, dentist, hairstylist, whatever the case may be. Do not cancel it. Give yourself the boundaries to stick with the schedule. I said it, I did it. I said it, I did it. When you can fulfill the promises that make to yourself, you will find yourself slowly gaining trust in yourself, slowly gaining self-esteem, slowly gaining confidence, all because you said what you did what you said you were going to do. All right. So I want you to establish these boundaries for yourself, make appointments. One of the things that I've done in the past as well is I'll set my timer and then I put my phone on do not disturb. So if I know that I have the next hour to complete a task, when I know that my timer is clicking, I don't get distracted by all of the notifications, right? And I'm very focused so that I can get what I wanted to get done during that time. All right. I also do that when it comes to engaging on social media. It is so freaking easy to get caught up in the ads or just scrolling for mindless scrolling. And I want you to be really intentional about things. So when you are like, okay, I'm going to engage on social media, I am giving myself a task, a job. Engagement is much different than scrolling. Engagement is I'm liking, I'm commenting, I'm engaging in conversation. I'm getting to know people. I'm acknowledging them. I'm conversing with them. Set a timer for 15 minutes. You can knock out a lot of engagement in 15 minutes, but give yourself some boundaries because otherwise you're going to get caught up in all the dang things. Okay. All right. The next thing that I want to acknowledge is the whole art of being. All right. So when I think about the way that I coach people and the way that I help people live their life by design, I want to incorporate both a masculine and a feminine energy into it. When we utilize universal law, we can create things much more efficiently and effectively. So when I think about masculine, that's all the to-dos that we've just talked about, right? It's the tasking, it's the actionable items. The feminine is the energy behind it. The feminine is the patience, it's the waiting, it's the creativity, it's the flow. So when you can incorporate this state of being into what it is that you're doing, you are going to be much more productive, efficient, and effective. Why? Number one is you stay higher in the vibrational scale. All right. So when you are trying to do all the things, I'm going to be playing with the kids and I'm going to be making dinner and I'm going to be, working on my business and doing all the things, you feel like you are getting nothing done because it feels so scattered. Multitasking, my friend, is a myth. I've learned from my friend and neurosurgeon that our brains are very binary. And so when we think that we can accomplish all these things at once, we don't. And then what happens is that we start to incorporate guilt and shame into the experience. So, for example, if I am working on my business and I feel guilty that I'm not with my kids, I have this emotional tie that is keeping me from being at the highest level of my vibrational scale, which means it's going to keep me from being at the highest level of frequency to be able to have the life and experiences that I want to, but it's also going to keep me from being as effective and efficient as I could be. Same goes with if I am with my kids and I'm feeling guilty that I'm not working on my business, same deal. And so what I want you to do is practice the art of being. So when I choose to work on my business until 1 p.m., I am focused on my business. I've given myself the permission to be the best damn boss woman I can be. And then at 1 o'clock, I'm going to put my laptop away. I'm going to put my stuff away, and I'm going to be the best dang mom that I could be. Giving yourself the permission to be in the space that you're intending to be in is going to allow for you to stay in that higher levels of the vibrational scale. It's going to allow for you to get way more out of the time that you have. If I am feeling like my spirit is split between the things that are on my to-do list and being with my kids, I am not going to be as efficient and effective on my to-do list. And if I am concentrating on that to-do list in my head as I'm playing with my kids, like, how present am I? Friend, your kids are going to get more out of quality time with you than quantity time with you. So be intentional about it and allow yourself the permission to be the best business owner that you can be in the time and the boundaries that you have set for yourself. Okay? All right. Tip number 5 is to hire help. All right. Now, hiring help can be literally a smorgasbord of resources, but I'm going to give you a couple of examples for today. Okay. Number 1, do you need a babysitter? Do you just need somebody to give your kids attention so that you can work your tail off until 1 p.m.? Asking yourself, do I treat my business like a business, or am I treating my business like a hobby? And if you want your business to be a business, then you need to make sure that you are giving yourself the permission and the time to work on your business uninterrupted. So if that means that you get to hire a local neighbor kid for a couple of hours a day, then do it. Give yourself the permission to be the business owner that your clients deserve to have. Your kids are going to get the attention that they need. You're going to get what you need done. The same goes for daycare. Like, goodness sakes, it's okay. There's no guilt in that when you think about, I get to be amazing mom from 3 o'clock on, or whatever the time that you decide is comfortable for you. Okay. Now, other ways that you can establish getting help is there somebody that can clean your house, right? So that you can spend that time that you would have been cleaning on your business or with your kids. It's all about being intentional. Can you hire a virtual assistant to help you with some of your tasks? Those things are amazing, because if you're like, okay, I really want to be more present with my kids this summer and I want to have a massively successful business, why not hire somebody that you can teach to basically replicate you and what you can do on the task side of things so that you can free up that time? I have an amazing assistant, Jamie, that helps me, and she's based out of Arizona. So everything that we do is all virtual. I absolutely adore her. I also have been working with a VA in the Philippines for years, since 2019. She's amazing. And if you're just getting started, there are ways that you can utilize Filipino VAs for anywhere from $2 to $10 an hour. If you need something with a little bit more strategy, somebody that can anticipate your needs rather than just complete the tasks that you delegated, then I would highly recommend considering a VA here in the States that can help you as a client experience director or a podcast producer or something that you can delegate and pass off. All right. There are things that you can also use delegation, like Fiverr and Upwork, that you can hand off small tasks like, hey, create these graphics, or hey, edit these videos, or I need a logo. Like, those are not things that you necessarily need to be spending your time doing. So start to act like a CEO and think about, what tasks can I give to somebody else so that I get to be more present with my family and I get to make sure that my business is consistently moving with forward momentum. All right. Now, I'm going to be diving into each one of these tips with more detail this summer, so make sure that you stay tuned for future episodes of the Spiral Up podcast. I also want to invite you to a couple of resources that I have. So one is the Better Club. It's our free community for people like-minded that want to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business. Many people inside of that group are just like you, business owners, moms who are just trying to make it all work. And so I want to make sure that you know about that community. The second resource that I'm going to offer to you is my Maximize Your Time mini course. It is a small, doable, but action-packed, getting massive results with time management. And I want to make sure that I invite you guys to that. So I will have our resources of the Better Club and the Maximize Your Time mini course inside of the show notes so that you can go ahead and dive into that. If you're like, I just really need to be more efficient, I need to maximize my time, I need my productivity better because I am tired of being burnt out. I'm tired of the hustle. I'm tired of feeling like I'm running on this treadmill. I'm tired. But you also know that you have a big, massive impact to make and you don't want to fall backwards. That mini course is for you. Okay. So I will see you here inside of the Spiral Up podcast next week. Thanks for listening. Bye, everybody.
So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to im-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.